Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Diane Wilder. I am a medical oncologist at CARTI. For a long time, there has been this rumor, this thought throughout the country about whether antiperspirants, deodorants, increase the risk for breast cancer. And the answer is no, it does not. So let's talk about why that is the case. Well, the rumor originated, there were some talks about this early on, but in the 1990s, there was a viral email that was sent that said there is an increased risk for the development of breast cancer for those patients who use antiperspirants. And the methodology of that was pretty interesting. Basically, antiperspirants or deodorants are applied to the underarm, and most breast cancers occur in the upper outer quadrants of the breast. So it looks like there's an association. Here you have something that's being applied daily or twice daily. And could there be particles in those deodorants then that are seeping into the skin, especially if there's been use of a razor blade and shaving? And those particles then deposit into the skin, into the sweat glands, and they then stir up a lot of genetic mutations or mutations of the cells, creating toxins, causing more stirring of the cells, and then those toxins can't get out because the antiperspirants seal those sweat glands off so the toxins stay in, and then they increase the risk of cancer developing. Well, there are a lot of reasons that doesn't make sense. But apart from that, if you look at that viral email and that information, that then of course prompted many studies across the country. And that is one situation in the early 2000s. There were 800 women who had breast cancer, and then they took another group of women who'd never had breast cancer, and they looked at the use of antiperspirants, and there was no increased association of the development of breast cancer that had that correlation. So there was no causal link for that. There was a study later in 2006 that was smaller, but it confirmed those original findings. And then there was a later study that was basically a systematic overview. And what that means is they looked at different populations, different folks, different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and they looked to see if there was any association of the development of breast cancer with the use of antiperspirants. So when we take something like that and then you look at the studies we have, the studies simply aren't panning out to support that. So as you read around and look at this, we're all not sure what to believe anymore. And so we get it. We trust these studies. We see them over and over. They're validated. And then in 2018, the Swiss government banned the use of deodorants that contained aluminum. So what was that about? All of a sudden, a country, very respected country, bans their use. Well, that was really propagated by a study that was performed at the University of Geneva, where researchers basically took mammary cells from mice. They put those in a little culture dish, and they then added aluminum. How much? Exactly how did they do that? Not clear. And then they took those cells and implanted them back into mammary tissue in the mice, and they saw growth of tumor. So that observation then led a member of the Green Party, of the Swiss Green Party, to go to the parliament and say, look, we've seen this observation that here you have this infusion of this metal into these cells, and they indeed cause cancer growth. So we need to be proactive, and we need to ban this from being used in deodorants for this country, because it's more important that we go ahead and ban things before they take place. Well, that isn't scientifically backed. And the critics of that study said, well, you're talking about mouse observations here and using them in humans, and that doesn't make any sense. And there were other critics of the trial very early, not validated, and you take that one study and you compare it to all the other studies that we have, and we simply do not have a direct causal link between antiperspirant use and the development of breast cancer. So we would much rather focus on the things that we do know can be linked, and that would be decreasing alcohol use, maintaining a healthy weight, maintaining a healthy diet with whole foods as much as we can, optimizing sleep, and optimizing exercise. So that's our recommendation, not that you avoid antiperspirants. And that myth is busted.